Because you can't, you won't, and you don't stop watching MLTT. This is week number 5, day number 2, and we are ready for the action. Coming to you live from Chicago, Illinois, USA. And now we're gonna bring in the officials. Put your hands together for Linda Leaf and Jovana Kesnevich. And the first team to enter the arena tonight, coming in 4th place right now, make some noise for Princeton Revolution! And their opponents at the top of the food chain, keeping the swamp fresh and ready. Get those chomps out for the Florida Crocs! Alrighty, now that all the warriors have entered the arena, let's shake some hands and slap some skins and let the games begin.
Adam Bobrow certainly knows how to set the tone as we welcome you to Chicago this weekend from the Wintrust Sports Complex in Bedford Park, not far from the Washington Wabash L Stop. It's Major League Table Tennis. Our Saturday doubleheader begins with Florida, the first place team battling the Princeton Revolution. Florida and Carolina victorious yesterday by the same score, 14-7. This is an important day for Princeton and the hometown Chicago Wind. We welcome you to our broadcast perch with Matt Hetherington. I am Evan Lepler. It's been an interesting weekend so far. Plenty of close competitive action. We're getting ready to watch the 27th team match in MLTT history. Matt, in 25 of the first 26 team matches, there has been at least one 3-0 sweep. The only match where there was not a 3-0 sweep was about a month ago, Princeton and Florida.
It's a great fact. I mean, this is good to have so many close matches and we have so many high-level players. This is what we want. This is what the spectators want. Obviously, for the teams, they want to get there and they want to get those 3-0 wins, but it just shows you the caliber of competition out there.
We got an intriguing order of play ahead as we begin this Saturday slate with a couple first-round draft picks. Jinshin Wong and Daniel Gorak will lead it off. Kanamitsu Koyo against the red-hot Ojo Onaapo in the second spot. And then later today, we'll see the weekend debut of the defensive-minded Chopper, who has a little offense as well. Matthew De Santillano has quickly become a fan favorite for the Revolution. What else catches your eye about today's slate?
Honestly, I think overall it's a very competitive lineup for the Princeton Revolution, and they need this win. You know, they've gotten out there and they've performed so well, but they just haven't been able to get over the line in those golden games, and it's left them at the bottom of the table, maybe a position that they don't necessarily deserve to be in. So I think for them, they're feeling pretty confident about this lineup. Standing out for me, I think the second match, Koyo and Ojo, I think it's going to be a big fireworks match. And but all the matches are looking great, and we're treated to this one here first.
Well, Gorak is the higher-ranked player coming into the weekend, but it was Jinshin Wong that went 2-1 yesterday in his first match here in Chicago. Daniel Gorak took on Damian Provost, had a great come-from-behind win in Game 1. He was down 9-5 and won 11-9, but then he dropped games 2 and 3. His pace could not fluster Provost.
Yeah, he definitely had some comfort issues in that match. Of course, he has in his favor that week 3 these two played each other and Gorak came out on top. So there's always that, some tactical ideas to carry from the last match. But yeah, I think Jinshin's should be fairly confident with how he played
Crocs versus
yesterday in his
Revolution.
match.
Crocs to serve.
And we'll
0-0.
see how Gorak adapts from yesterday to come through for today's match.
Nice crowd on hand here in Chicago. Great to have you with us wherever you are watching. Jinshin Wong and Daniel Gorak to begin the day. Neither of these guys strangers to the leadoff spot. But both played in the 4 spot yesterday. So it's the first leadoff opportunity for either player this weekend.
It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Actually, Gorak seems to do better in the first match after the time that they spend warming up. So see if he comes out to the table here running hot, or
It was not far away from being my souvenir.
if you want one, Evan, we can get one for you.
I want one that is a live ball coming my way. 4 out of the first 5 points for the number 2 overall pick in the inaugural MLTT draft, Daniel Gorak, originally from Poland.
Gorak looking pretty solid so far.
Now he's locked and loaded. Gorak scheduled to play singles and doubles today again. He earned 2 points in doubles yesterday alongside Matilda Ekholm. Got the 1 point in singles, but he and his Crocs once again delivered in the golden game. The Florida Crocs have been unlike any other team in the golden game. They've won 6 of their 7 golden games. And despite the fact that they haven't won as many singles games as most other teams in the league, they have the most points in the league because of that golden success.
That was one of the standout things for me when we were looking yesterday at the stats, seeing that the Crocs in the singles, at least in the individual singles matches, had the lowest winning record. Still top of the table from, as you said, their success in the golden games.
So Wong has scored a few points in a row here to inch back into this opening game. How about that return? Short return. Fooled Gorak. All of a sudden it's 8-5. It was there for Wong to take, and he missed it.
He has managed to tighten up a little bit, so doing a little bit better in the short situations close to the net. Gorak cutting a really great angle there.
And Wong forced to try to go around the net there.
Which he did successfully in his singles match yesterday, might add. Not in this first game here.
Saves the first of 6 game points for Daniel Gorak. Gorak taking a little stroll before this next point. If he doesn't win this one, the serve does go back to the other side of the net. didn't catch, and Gorak takes game one, 11-7.
It was a great start for Gorak in those first handful of points, taking such a strong lead. He kind of faltered a little bit towards the second half. And one of the things that stood out for me was this kind of half-long short ball towards his middle and forehand. I actually spoke to him a little bit about his match yesterday with Damien, and one of the things that he said was he was just really uncertain about the half-long ball. Was the ball going to his forehand half-long or was it short? And so you could see in that demonstration right there, when he's decisive and he knows that it's half-long for certain and he goes for it, produces great quality, but sometimes when he's not entirely sure if it's half-long or short, it falters a little bit. So, yeah, we definitely saw some of his early steam kind of die off there towards the second half.
If you're Jinshin Wong, you were down 8-1. Technically, you've scored 6 of the last 9 points. Is there some confidence to be gleaned in anything that he figured out that can help him here in game 2?
Possibly tactically. I don't know. That's all inside his head right now. But yeah, you definitely having a run towards the end of the game, even if you don't win the game, is better than kind of going out 11-2 and coming into the next game cold.
Now 1-7 of the last 10 points. Keeps it rolling, takes the 2-0 lead.
I would say he definitely improved his short game towards the second half of the first game. So if he can keep the control close to the net and then start making those really heavy topspin backhands to get into the point, could make a difference for him.
First 5 points in game 2 all have gone to the server.
So Jinshin getting a good start here.
You mentioned that these guys played before. Gorak won 2 out of 3 on October 14th in Myrtle Beach. Gorak won the first 2 games, but as we have often seen in the East Division, just taking a 2-0 lead does not mean you earn the sweep. Service ace right there. Wong completely flabbergasted by that spinning serve from Gorak.
Gets 2 straight off the serve. That always alleviates some pressure if you can win straight off your service game. So feels a little bit slow out there. Both players still trying to formulate the right strategy and get into this match a little. It's definitely a little bit tense.
How about that? The first point in this game won by the returner.
Great timing there from Gorak. Just setting himself, waiting for the ball to come to him.
Six all as the serve goes back to Jinshin Wong.
Great serve disguise there from Jinshin. Gorak actively trying to keep the ball short, so a little bit of topspin variation on that serve. Great setup there by Wong Jinshin. Directs the ball down the line into space and then just cuts a great angle. Just misses the edge. Gorak throwing down some firepower.
Showing the versatility for the forehand and the backhand power. Nine all.
That's the kind of ball I was surprised that Jinshin didn't step around onto the forehand straight away.
Oh, it caught.
Just clips the edge.
Gorak felt that the table tennis gods were not on his side yesterday, too.
Well, that's certainly not going to help for today.
Game point for Wong. And we've got our first golden point of the day. 10-all here in game 2 of this opening singles match.
This is going to be interesting to see how Gorak handles the serve receive here.
Jinshin Wong takes game 2 by winning the golden point against Daniel Gorak, 1 game apiece.
You can see definitely wasn't happy with that. Took a big risk there, coming across, banana back and flick, trying to take the initiative. Not happy to miss that ball.
No problem. That's Luke, by the way. He's also a high-level table tennis player. He's been driving everybody.
Matthias Hadesan, the head coach of the Princeton Revolution.
It's exciting. I'm going to come talk to everybody I can here.
So the second game, Wong Jinshin really maintained much better control. I think a big factor in it was once the rallies opened, he was able to control the ball down the line really well with his backhand. Caught a couple of lucky edges there on the edge of the table, but you can definitely see the intention there as, you know, catching Gorak as he's stepping around to try and play with more power on his forehand. And Jinshin's just one step ahead, guiding that ball away from him.
Game 3, Crocs to serve. 0-0.
All righty, Gorak will serve to begin game 3. Both players trying to make an opening statement for their teams. There's a statement from Daniel Gorak. There's a little bit of a glare after the forehand winner.
Good start for Gorak. Couple of good setups. Big forehands over the table. Jinshin just not able to keep the ball tight enough. Gorak definitely will be happy with the start. Oh, hands.
Tremendous reflexes from Wong. He's hanging around here. Game 3.
Gorak certainly not happy with some of these unforced errors. Another example, kind of a shrunk down example of what we saw in the first game of getting out here and really starting well with confidence. A couple of unforced errors just creep in. Gorak's got to really keep himself pumped up and stay in that attacking mode.
Now, when you played, how loud is the conversation, dialogue that's going on in your head as you're playing, as you're anticipating what's coming next?
Well, generally louder if I'm telling myself that I'm an idiot. But in terms of tactics, generally pretty calm. I try not to put too much pressure on myself. A little break off the net there. The universe helping balance things out for Daniel Gorak.
4 straight points now for Gorak. Create the separation at 7-3.
And you can see he's moved his placement over. So instead of playing directly into the backhand of Jin Shin, he's kind of catching that elbow a little bit more. Oh, great rally from both players. Wong just staying in control. It's a little bit taller. Generally, taller players are very comfortable playing on the wings, but if you can catch them more towards the elbow, they struggle.
Oh my. And Wong just takes a shake of his head, looks around.
He was ready for it too. You could see him winding up with his forehand. Thought he had a good measure of that ball.
Gorak again.
Clean ace down the middle. Just steady hands from Wong Jin Shin, but the counter attack never came, and Gorak stayed with his foot on the pedal.
Gorak's raised this game.
Oh, there's the
Wong
counter
not
attack.
done yet. Wow. A little bit of everything on that point.
Jin Shin looking pretty relaxed now. He's in a position where he can just take a few swings here and there and not feel too much pressure.
Too much, though, from Daniel Gorak. And he takes 2 out of 3 with Wong snagging the middle game on Golden Point. Entertaining way to start the day here in Chicago with these 2 first-round picks. Pounding fire back and forth.
Great performance to get things kicked off by both players, but Daniel Gorak was the aggressor in that match. He kind of lost his way a little bit in some parts, but in terms of the balance of attack and passiveness, it was definitely Gorak who maintained the upper hand, I would say.
Let's hear from Daniel. He's got the headset on. Daniel, thanks for joining us. Well done getting 2 points for your team to start the day. What was the mindset coming into this match against Jinshin, who you did play earlier in the season?
Hello guys. I played with him before, and like how we remember, was a tough match because it was 1-0 for me and 10 for him. And then I came back and I won this game. And today I was focused from the beginning. And in the second set was 10-10. I was a little bit too rush. I want to finish the points directly after my receive, and this was my mistake, which I didn't make. After in the first set.
Now, yesterday you had a pretty challenging match with Damian Provost. These two guys kind of have similar styles, a little bit more control, and you have to do a lot of the attacking work yourself out there to win points. What kind of things did you take away from your match yesterday that might have helped you here against Wong Jinshin?
Yesterday I don't feel so well, and also Damian Provo played such a good match yesterday. I was happy to win one game because I was also down like 9-5 and I could win this game. I had also a couple of chances like to maybe win one more game, but he played amazing yesterday, and congratulations for them.
Daniel, well done to get today started. We'll see you in doubles just in a little bit here. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Frank Arias's team in front 2-1. And now into the second singles match. Kanamitsu Koyo against Ojo Onaapo. Once again, no 3-0 sweep between Princeton and Florida, but Ojo knows about the 3-0 sweep. He had one in yesterday's match for the Florida Crocs, taking down Dan Liu.
Yeah, and yesterday's match was just a standout performance. So much power, so much confidence. It's going to be really dangerous for Koyo if Ojo gets into that playing mode again.
He's got some firepower too, though.
He does, and one thing that he has going in his favor is that he has great counters over the table. So if he can use that power from Ojo and redirect it, then he could cause some big problems. So for me, this is one of the standout matchups of this evening. Very interested to see how things play out here.
You're talking about Koyo's power over the table, right?
Yeah, just the quick counters where he uses that incoming power and redirects it.
Does that mean you want him to stay close to the table and not go back defensively?
Yeah, I found yesterday when he was playing, he kind of struggled when he had to generate his own power. I mean, not that he's not capable of doing it, but perhaps something that he was less comfortable with yesterday.
Good start for Koyo.
One of the things that I mentioned yesterday with Ojo is you really can't afford to give him a ball that's half long. Anything going over the table, he's going to get in and try and attack straight away. So Koyo's got to keep the ball short a lot. Short serves, short receives where he can get them.
I think Ojo borrowed Dan Gonzalez's jersey.
Looks like he might have pulled it straight from the crocodile pen.
The sun is out. Not all that warm of a day, but the sun is out, so why not let those biceps breathe? Heavy hitting from both players. And 3-all now as Ojo wins a couple on Koyo's serve. Koyo took 2 out of 3 games against Bastion DuPont in yesterday's match, Princeton against Carolina. Lost game 1 on the Golden Point, but took games 2 and 3. Impressive fashion. Though Bastion did have the last laugh in the Golden game.
Indeed.
that has been the story over and over again for this Princeton team, who's been playing well. Just a couple points in the Golden game haven't gone their way.
Yeah, not too many degrees of separation on results between these teams, but on the actual leader table, there's some clear division.
A matchup between Koyo and Onaapo is a bit of predicament for those who are in contention at the top of the fantasy table tennis leaderboards, including yours truly.
Yeah. Well, I'm not at the top, so.
There was some talk about making you the play-by-play announcer and me the analyst because of how well I did in fantasy yesterday,
really?
I think.
Was that self-talk?
It might have been.
I think it was self-talk.
I was as surprised as anybody else. I was second among all participants after the Friday night.
You know what? Given how close our picks were for the fantasy league, I was a little disappointed that you were up there so high and I was down, and I think I'm about 32nd or something.
No, I think you were. I think you told me 54.
Oh yeah, no, actually, yeah, 60, maybe 64. I'm way down.
You and Sean O'Neill both. It's okay. I can help you. I'm willing to help you.
Don't lump me down there with Sean. Okay.
But as someone who selected both Ojo Onaapo and Koyo among the players on my fantasy team, it's a little disorienting to see them going head to head here.
Only a third of the way into the weekend. Of course, if you haven't got your picks in, wow. That counter was outstanding. Yeah, if you haven't got your picks in, fantasizer.com, Major League Table Tennis Fantasy League. Some great prizes on offer. And something that's never been done before in table tennis.
Absolutely free to enter. And frankly, look, I'm someone that's pretty skeptical of this stuff. It's free. Well, you gotta say, it was very easy to sign up.
Yeah.
If it wasn't as easy, I probably wouldn't have done it, but it was really easy. And now I'm in second place and making fun of my broadcast partners who know much more about the sport than I do. This is why fantasy football and all other, I don't play other fantasy sports, but I felt, Sean just talked a lot of smack last weekend, so I felt like I had to put him in his place. Ojo stays alive. Gets the serve back, trailing by 2 here in game 1.
Here comes the backhand serve. Koyo keeping things short. Trying to get in there with a long ball.
Timeout, Revolution. First timeout of the day called by Matthias Habasson. Makes Ojo think about this serve at 10-9 a little bit.
This is really a pivot point for the Princeton Revolution. If Koyo can come through here and deliver a big win for them. I mean, the earlier they can get in and try and get a lead, the better. They yesterday had a decent lead in the Golden game. Weren't able to finish it off. But we're going to see what Ojo comes back with. Again, great power in his shots. So coming back here, the serve is going to be really important for him. If he can set up well from the serve and get in, usually his first ball is pretty effective. Better pressure here for Kanamitsu Koyo.
What serve do you want to see here from Ojo?
You know it's going to be the backhand. It's such a hard serve to keep short. And Koyo does it, not able to convert though.
Alrighty, for the second time in 4 games so far today, 10 all, Golden Point. Koyo to serve. And
Goes
Ojo
for the nose spin.
sends it long, and Koyo escapes in game one.
Empty serve there. Ojo trying to nail that deep push. Worked out perfectly in Koyo's favor.
You had a question for me.
Some guys were ready for table tennis, and some guys were ready for a downhill skiing activity with Prishepa and Desantalan all bundled up.
Got to stay warm on the bench, Evan.
Yes, you do. It's chilly today here in the Windy City. It's good stuff from Koyo there to pull that
That
one
last
out.
shot was the best shot of the game for me. That's really his absolute strength, getting those snappy counters in. But I think Koyo did a really great job in the first game of keeping things so short. Short, low to the net. Ojo not able to get in as early in the point. But I think sometimes when he played out long, maybe there wasn't quite enough pressure on it. So, you know, one of the things about playing a good high-quality counter loop is that the push that comes before it has to be really deep, really heavy, and quite quick. And if it's not, then you have a much, much stronger ball to deal with to counter. Koyo again, looking to keep that ball nice and short.
A lot of the shots that were effective returns yesterday are sailing long today for Ojo. Koyo overcooks that backhand. 2-all on the team tally and the score in game 2.
Couple of unforced errors or timing errors from Ojo in the start of the second game. Could be telling of how the momentum might go for this match. I don't know if he even made an error with his forehand at all last night.
Yeah, can't remember one.
But sometimes all it takes is just a very small disruption. Just throw out the timing. Certainly looks like Kanamitsu has found some success there.
What Ojo's done so far in this league is truly remarkable, particularly as a 7th round pick. He came into this weekend 8-4 in singles. He went 3-0 yesterday. He's been a Golden Game beast.
Koyo's drop just drifting a little bit over the edge there. That's the difference. Even that close to the edge, as long as it's drifting long, Ojo's going to take a go at it. You can see him doing it again there. Interestingly enough, the last 2 occasions that these teams played, neither Koyo nor Ojo were in the lineup, so this is their first time against each other, even on the bench, I guess.
Funny how it's worked out. Service error there from Onaapo.
The old reliable backhand serve.
Stays with it.
Kanamitsu just short and precise up and close to the net. And it's working for him so well here. Not faring so well with the more powerful shots where he has a little bit more time.
It's 2 in a row that Koyo sends too long. Opens the door here for Ojo to fight back and steal this second game. Oh my.
Bit of a grimace there even on the face of Koyo.
Game points.
And surgical connection there from Koyo. Great forehand flick with confidence and a counter.
2-0 lead for Kanamitsu Koyo.
Super play there to end that game. This is the kind of play that a player like Koyo, if he's really in great physical shape and he's really in practice, we could see that from him in a very high percentage of points. Right now, he's still looking a little bit rusty out there. I think also the team, the Revolution team, they know it. They know that there's really a lot of untapped potential there with Koyo. So they're waiting for him, and I mean, he's delivering now, taking that mantle and bringing these results for the team. So a lot of timing errors, and Ojo looking a lot more unsettled out there in the second game. Forehand errors, a couple of service errors.
It's a different Ojo Onaapo than we've seen through his first 5 singles matches.
You know, sometimes when you have something that stands out in your game so much, when it stops working, it's a question of where you go to from there. And I think that's something that he's kind of struggling with at the moment. But again, Koyo managing to keep everything so short, I think has given him a huge amount of trouble.
And that's what you're talking about. That shot has been consistently his bread and butter, and for whatever reason, it's just not there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're hitting a lot of them, you feel really good about your timing. You feel really confident about your connection with the ball and how it feels on your racket. And when you miss a couple of them, when you don't get as many opportunities to play them, then sometimes that kind of wears away. And it's really important in table tennis to have that feeling for the ball timing and that feeling of how the ball should be on your racket. It's really important. And, you know, we've noticed, and they showed before in that slower replay, Ojo looking at his racket. There's such a connection between the rubber feeling and the ball contact. So a big question here for both players. Can Koyo put 3 points on the board for the Revolution, or can Ojo find some timing here and bring one back for the Crocs?
We have not seen a player earn a 3-0 sweep in a match between Princeton and Florida since September. As I mentioned in the Open, in all but one team match in Major League Table Tennis. Hold that thought. What was that about?
I think he just wanted to wait. I don't think he was ready for the serve to come yet.
They switch sides at 5-4. 25 of the first 2016 matches, there's been at least one 3-0 sweep. Princeton, Florida in October, there was no 3-0 sweep. Everything was a 2-1 win or loss. Gorak over Jinshin Wong, 2-1 here. Got to go back to Ojo, or excuse me.
There's the forehand that Ojo cleaned up with yesterday.
Go back to the doubles match in September. Gorak and Ekholm against the two choppers, Santan and Duran. It was 3-0 in favor of Gorak and Ekholm. In fact, every single singles match between Florida and Princeton has been a 2-1 affair. And it feels like this one's headed that way as well.
Seems like it.
I know you're skeptical of my stats and my nuggets, but they seem to be coming to fruition. We'll see.
Stats are stats, Evan. It's more about the prediction models.
Sure. I understand. Oh my.
But yeah, it definitely does seem that way. And honestly, it's quite interesting because sometimes you feel like the first two games have been, I wouldn't say one-sided, but within the control of one player. And you still see this 2-1 pattern as well. Half long's not going to cut it. Ojo starting to find some rhythm with his forehand, and it's made all the difference here in game 3.
Ojo with an exclamation point to cap what was a frustrating 3-game experience against Kanamitsu Koyo. He takes game 3, 11-6, but still Koyo earns 2 points for the Princeton Revolution. And we are tied 3-3 on the team tally as we head toward the doubles coming up here momentarily.
Don't forget, anything you post online, tag Major League Table Tennis, #,
Joined now by Kanamitsu Koyo. Congratulations, that was impressive. You take 2 out of 3 from a guy who had been red hot. I don't know if you watched Ojo yesterday, but he went 3-0 in singles and he was fantastic in the Golden Game. How familiar were you with Ojo, considering this was the first time you've played him in Major League Table Tennis?
So I try to make receive short and don't let him use to play forehand. But actually he have so many easy mistakes. Then yes, it was a little bit lucky for me. Yeah.
Apologies for the audio issues. Not sure what's going on, but we will get this sorted out.
Question now, talk to me.
Koyo, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, now we got you. What were your thoughts about going into that match against Koyo, against Ojo?
Yeah, because I know he's have a very good forehand. So I will try to make shorthand, don't let him use so much forehand. And yeah, because some important moment he missed a lot of easy balls. So also it's a little bit lucky for me.
And
Yeah.
how about the third game for you? I know in the first and second game you
because
managed.
I know he made a lot of mistake and maybe he have a mental problem. Then I try to be safe and play simple. But yeah, when I lead in 3-0 and he start to play more aggressive and yeah.
How pleased are you with your performance through the first 2 days, taking 2 out of 3 in singles on Friday and Saturday?
Yeah. It's okay, but I try to take 3 points for my teams, but yeah.
I mean, all right.
Yeah,
We got to let you go. We got to head to doubles. Thanks, Koyo.
Okay, thank you.
Doubles time.
Crocs
Gorak
to
and
serve,
Ekholm
0-0.
against Leong and Guan. Another day, another doubles partner for Angela. She's back with Jishan, with Prishepa inactive today.
Now, this matchup a couple of weeks ago, Angela and Jishan held such a good position in game 3, but weren't able to close the door. It was quite a big comeback. I think around maybe 5 points in a row from Gorak and Ekholm to come back in that third game and take the 2-1 advantage.
Were you rewatching that earlier today?
Maybe.
I remember that. It was a thriller.
Now, again, we talked yesterday when Prishepa and Angela played together. A lot of the time when you're playing with a defensive player, it's about finding that range from the table. And a player like Jishan, he doesn't want to be that far back off the table. So they're going to have to find comfort in that mid-range.
And I wondered if perhaps Prishepa played with Guan yesterday because Jishan maybe didn't want to go against Carolina in doubles. That was not the case. That was not accurate. Matthias Habasson telling me that he wanted to pair Prishepa with Guan because Yevgen plays with a lot of choppers in Ukraine, including his wife is a chopper who he practices with a lot. So he liked that combination. He felt they did well yesterday against Enzo and Hong.
I thought so, yeah. Yeah, I think one of the key factors for them as a pair, or especially for Angela in the doubles, is how she receives serve. So I think she has sometimes chances to attack when the ball's half long that she might go for. Sometimes she can do that kind of swipe with her backhand with the long pips. I just feel that if she's chopping on the serve return, it just gives a little bit too much time, especially if she's against the male player in a mixed doubles combination. And I think that's really what we saw with Enzo yesterday, is that he had time to just really hit through that ball with his forehand.
Ooh. That's a winner netball return from Gorak to tie it at 6. Gorak and Ekholm have just been so steady. And they've won 2 out of 3 doubles games they've played. They're now 14-7.
Give that lucky break right back with a service error.
Leong thought he had it.
You could see how far away he was, and he had to run in to try and attack that ball with the backhand. Again, that comes back to that spacing from the table for both players. And also, Gorak and Ekholm have done a good job of catching Jishan on his backhand corner as well. That's a better play from Angela. She's got to use that long pip side to play a little bit less linear. Something a little different, something to upset the rhythm.
Off-balance lunging forehand from Gorak on the third shot attack, hits the net. And we're tied 9-9 with the serve going back to Angela Guan, 25-year-old from Seattle. Game points here for the Revolution. We saw a golden point in the second game in first singles, the first game in second singles, and now the first game here in doubles. 10-10, Gorak will serve. Oh, what a shot!
No way.
Jishan Leong pulled a rabbit out of his hat to take game one for Princeton.
Totally unexpected. Look at that look on his face. Given that they'd pinned him back from the table so much on his backhand, instead of running in this time, he thought, hey, I'm just going to stay out here.
That's
Wong Jinshin having a good chuckle there on the bench.
I mean, that's one of the shots of the season right there, from where he was, how far he was from the table, how much was on that forehand from Gorak, the attack. That was a do-or-die shot from Jishan, and he nails it.
Definitely a good start here in the doubles from Guan and Jishan. There's that backhand again. What a finish. And on golden pointers, the golden game point. Get a great super slow-mo of it there, and there was no way to run that down for Matilda Ekholm.
I think sometimes the super slow-mo, like the ball looks like it's going at a normal speed. And you're like, oh, well, why didn't Ekholm just lunge it? Because in real time, it was going so crazy fast you didn't have a chance.
Yeah, you get to blink multiple times during a super slow-mo, but in real life, it's usually one blink and it's over. So this will be interesting to see Angela Guam playing to Matilda this time. And I think we'll see Jishan try and open up more with the forehand. We might get some slower openings from Matilda that he can counter, maybe some pushes. They're going to keep trying to pin him on that backhand corner.
Now, Princeton has long been looking for a doubles pairing that can stay consistent, like we've seen with Gorak and Ekholm, the duo every single day for Florida. It's Leong, Wong duo. Despite the 3-0 deficit here, it seems like it might have some staying power.
It could do. I just think one of the things about Hong and Enzo and about Daniel and Matilda is that they're very stable. My feeling is that a pair like Angela and Jishan are quite volatile. It really depends on who they're playing against.
So rare attack from Angela Guan, pretty good one.
Got to see more of it. Really got to see more of it. And I think it can make such a big difference in this this pairing.
When do you want to see more of it? Early in the point, later in the point, or all of the above?
I think if she has an opportunity to do it and it's going to make a difference, I mean, if your opponent's always expecting that you're going to chop, then they can prepare for it all the time. But sometimes you might feel like it'd put your opponents in a more defensive position if you attacked, even if it's slower and spinnier. Yeah, I mean, again, it comes back to what I was saying yesterday about doubles is what do you do, like when do you think it's beneficial for your partner? So is there an opportunity for her to attack where she feels like she could win a point outright, or she could set up a ball really well for Jishan to maybe finish with his forehand? Yeah, this order on this side, much better for these two. So having won the first game, quite a big deal for them. Ekholm trying to pick up that half-long ball.
Couple serves now here for the Swede. Jishan Leong feeling it right now.
And that's exactly the kind of ball that he wants. That kind of slower, slightly higher topspin ball.
Six all.
Gorak and Ekholm's strength really lies in stability. Even when they're losing points, it's not that they're missing, they're just maybe getting outplayed by the other two. Out forehanded by Jishan so far this game.
That's happened a couple times.
There's Angela going in for the attack again. This is a really great position for these two.
Jishan and Angela, you know.
Yeah, I guess it's doubles. I should be more specific. This time, Ekholm playing with a little bit more power.
The serve going back to Angela Guan.
And Ekholm
Great
just
stuff.
putting them on notice. That's a big forehand. Great angle.
Nothing Jishan could do. 3 straight points for the Crocs to take the 9-8 lead. And then the net ball hit the table, but Leong had to lunge for it. And a 10-8 advantage for Gorak and Ekholm. Try and steal game 2. Just over and over again, when it feels like Gorak and Ekholm are down, they find a way.
Just reliable.
It's almost boring how reliable it is. Like you just, okay, they're down, they're gonna win, right? And Matilda comes up with a winner, and Gorak is steady as you've described, both physically and emotionally. And
Yeah, honestly, in that game, I felt Gorak was so steady into Angela's chopping side that you almost didn't really realize that he was there. And it was actually Matilda who played the big shots that kind of gave them the edge to take that second game. But yeah, I mean, that's the brilliance of having reliable and consistent shots, is that sometimes you don't stand out, but you know, you get the job done. So I think they were kind of staring potential 0-2 in the face there, and Ekholm really a star player there. And you know, for Gorak, he really set her up to be the star there and
Third game.
controlled that ball incredibly well.
always said, Crocs fans, travel.
Have you always said that?
Always.
Or is this the first time?
Always.
So Ekholm starting with the serve here to Angela Guan. Gorak's going to have to apply some more pressure against Jishan Leong here. Ekholm going for the reverse. Can be a little bit of an awkward angle in the doubles. Gorak sends it long. And nobody was home. Gorak fading that ball out to the forehand corner. Again, Angela attacks. She's had good percentages with that. When she's attacked with the forehand, she's been able to win points outright.
Yeah, that's a good point. And she's aware of those percentages. She's not oblivious to it.
Yeah, I mean, the big difference in doubles is that when she's playing singles, she can take all the time in the world to defend. And every now and then pick a shot to attack. I think in the doubles, she's under a little bit more pressure to try and attack earlier in the point. But she's handled it really well in this match so far.
We're alluding to the 34-shot rally we had in the Golden Game yesterday between Angela Guan and Hong Min.
Yeah, I mean, as I said yesterday, I've commentated tournaments that have had Angela in where she's played a multitude of hour-long matches, one after the other. Certainly very patient and very consistent.
Were you there when Angela won the women's singles collegiate title
Yes,
for Cal?
yes, I was. She actually played 3 full-length matches in that tournament. 1 in the team event, 2 in the singles back-to-back. I would say they were probably about 1 hour long matches on average, all 3 of them. So,
Did you go into that college event expecting her to win?
I don't know if I was expecting who I thought would come out on top, but she was certainly
In the
a
mix.
big contender, yeah. And it was a big deal for her because it was her last year and playing in collegiate table tennis.
5-all after the big forehand from Jishan Leong.
And Jishan trying to replicate that big backhand from game 1. Set the ball up well. Jishan had to reach a little bit for the next ball. Definitely had it within his grasp. Gorak and Ekholm just steady as ever here.
Great stuff from Ekholm and Gorak. And after dropping game 1, 11-10, they're on the verge of winning another doubles match here at the MLTT level. Why not? Why
Gorak
not?
Drops it to finish.
Why not? Gorak and Ekholm deliver yet again for the Florida Crocs in doubles.
Such a great performance from Angela Guan and Jishan Leong, but again, that steady reliability and teamwork of these two, and really Ekholm stepping up, playing some great power forehands against the defense of Angela Guan.
Princeton Revolution has beaten them before.
They're now 16-8 across 8 team matches in doubles. Gorak and Ekholm get it done with 2 out of 3 again. I mean, Matilda, we've been here before. You and Daniel, you lose the first game, but you battle back against a team in Jishan and Angela that was clicking pretty good. What was the key to getting that win?
Oh yeah, it's the same as every time. I think like even when the game is not working perfectly for neither of us, or parts of the game doesn't work for Daniel, then doesn't work for me, then we still like just keep going, and yeah, we just grind them down.
And towards the second game and in the third, I think you played so well against Angela's defense. What inspired you to really get in there, and you played such confidence in your forehands to be the attacking player?
Well, I knew I have to find Yishan's really wide forehand, because if it's not like 100% good, then he's just so good from there. So I got frustrated when I played too soft and too not wide enough. So in the end, I just went for it, and I moved really well today, which is better than the previous rounds. So I could play with power today, which I'm very happy about.
When you entered this season, did you expect you and Daniel to be as successful in doubles as you have been together?
Yeah, good question. I think, yeah, because I know I'm a very good doubles player, better than single, I think. And I know Daniel is very clever, so I think I had the feeling that it would work out well, and it seems like it does.
16-8 is the doubles record, and we'll see you in the golden game a little bit. Thanks, Matilda.
Thank you.
2 out of 3 today for Gorak and Ekholm. Get your popcorn ready, folks. Santan and Gonzalez. 2 guys with different styles, but both stylistically entertaining and bring a lot of passion to the table.
Absolutely, yeah. Gonzalez is a very fiery competitor, explosive shots, and he'll get pumped up. We'll certainly see him bringing the offense in his match against Santan. Really one of the entertaining players here in the league at such high level. Great defense, so good back from the table, but especially on attack when he switches things up and goes for the counters. I mean, just some of the points that it's like poetry.
First appearance of the weekend for both these guys. They were both inactive yesterday. Santan serves first. Gonzalez takes the opening point. There's just such a contrast between what you and Sean typically say about how you want to try and stay close to the table and dictate the point compared to what Santan does, backpedaling immediately after the serve. Changes the rhythm entirely.
Yeah, well, I mean, the difference is when you're a defensive player, you need space. And one of the things that that defensive players struggle with is that transition out from the table, from serve receive to the first chop. So, yeah, he needs that speed to get out there and give him some room to play defensively. And it's always impressive to see the ease that he gets around the court with.
Service error from Gonzalez gets Santan on the board. Gonzalez from Puerto Rico.
Santan going in for the forehand attack. Looking pretty confident on the forehand right now.
Gonzalez is in control at the moment. Nothing has really worked from the backcourt so far for Matthew. And we've seen him be so good, so dynamic from deep behind the table. So far, Gonzalez in control. (6-1) now for Gonzalez. Only point for Santan was on Daniel's service error.
There's that heavier backspin ball. We need to see more of that. Needs to slow down some of those more powerful forehands.
Santan's had some nice returns, but Gonzalez with that forehand has just been ready to tee off.
Yeah, kind of straight from the get-go. See the Santan a little bit more quick to get into defensive mode, as you pointed out in the beginning. So a lot of the time it's a push receive on the serve and then backing up straight away to get the first chop in. Gonzalez seems to be comfortable working against that strategy right now.
Oh, that hugged the top of the net for an extra couple seconds, crawling along, and then fell back onto Santan's side. The fierce backspin will do that. Great placement from Gonzalez. That's too good.
You can see the difference between the first shot and the second. Bit more direct power on the first. Second one, just a little bit more touch to carry the ball slightly shorter. Right now, it looks like Gonzalez in control of the rhythm here.
Well, Santan changes the game plan a little bit at 10-3, comes out swinging. See if we see more of that. That caught the edge. I thought it did.
Nope.
No? The umpire was just as confused as I was. No? Apparently not.
You can see the rotation there on the ball. Just angling across there. And
yep, 11-4 for Gonzalez in game one.
big start for Gonzalez. One of the challenges of being a defensive player is, I mean, you've seen such strong attacks, and Gonzalez so comfortable against the defense of the Santan. What do you go to next? If you're playing someone who's that comfortable against defense, what do you have to change? Do you have to go to more attack, or do you start changing up those defensive variations? Right now, I think a little bit more aggression from Santan would be good, especially if he has the opportunity to get in after the serve receive. But right now, I think the defense is a little bit too comfortable for Gonzalez, so maybe some heavier chops. He's got to slow down that first ball. Gonzalez working like compound interest out there.
The not so often heard financial reference from your friendly table tennis analyst. I like it. Two 2-0 lead for the Frenchman here in game two.
There's the forehand attack for Santan. We know he has it. How much is he going to use it here in this match?
Yeah, we need to see that more. And when he's been at his best, Matt, that's what we've seen from Santan. He's capable of defending brilliantly, but the offense is powerful and effective.
Yeah, and like I said in the match with Ojo and Koyo, sometimes when you have a player who's playing really solid on their forehand, sometimes all it takes is a couple of little disruptions to throw them off, and maybe attacking for a little bit or attacking in more points will be enough to kind of hit the reset button and have Gonzalez going back to feeling a little less comfortable against the defense. Gonzalez playing great angles. He knows he can get the Santan to play defensively way off that forehand side with his backhand. So opening up a lot of the table.
Another good forehand attack from Matthew de Santan. Very different story here in game 2 compared to game 1.
Wow. Oh, so many different elements going into that point. Gonzalez getting the job done. Stayed committed on the forehand side.
Long stare at the paddle after that miss into the net. 4 of the last 5 points to Gonzalez after de Santan took the 5-0 lead.
Big attack there.
Back on track.
You can see the difference between when Gonzalez starts the point with power and when he starts the point slow. Usually when you play power on the first ball, it's a lot harder for a chopper to get a lot of backspin on the ball. You can just kind of keep going and keep building. But when you play slower on the first ball, more time for the defender to really get the rotation going.
More defense from de Santan on a point that felt like Gonzalez was controlling.
It's a bit of a red flag for Gonzalez. He doesn't want to get caught pushing too much. He's got to keep the momentum going. Oh, and goes for the backhand swing down the line, but not the contact he was looking for.
Fair to say the longer the point goes, generally advantage de Santan.
Yeah, I think so.
Surprise serve down the line there, caught Gonzalez off guard. Whoop.
Perfect placement.
Game points for Matthew.
Gonzalez, one of the strengths that he's had here is being able to combine power with great placement. You see him here just working the Santan away from the table towards the middle, opening up that wide backhand angle. And he's closing the gap slowly and steadily here.
10-6 to 10-8. Serve does go back to Santan. An opportunity to even this singles matchup at a game apiece and ensure that there will be no sweep in this match either. That's great stuff from Santan, what we've come to expect from the chopping Frenchman. He takes game 2, 11-8, to even up this singles match at a game apiece.
Around the scoreline. This was interesting to watch. Did you guys see that in one to serve, the fast long ones with the forehand?
And the key factor for Matthew de Santan in that game was switching up the attack, getting in those aggressive opportunities when he could. Things definitely changed in terms of control over the table. Definitely see more forehand errors for Gonzalez, who was pretty flawless in the first game on the attack. But de Santan producing some stunning forehands.
One of the reasons I'm such a Princeton Revolution fan, not just because the team owners are the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but also because they've got 2 stoppers.
You can see Jinshin motioning the forehand loop there. No doubt the Revolution bench want to see him keep that attacking up.
Really nice crowd on hand here at the Wintrust Sports Complex in Chicago.
Evan, how does this compare for you, having been to all of the matches so far in terms of audience capacity?
It's up there. It's definitely up there. There's some good crowds in Katy, Texas a couple weeks ago as well. Honestly, I mean, for the most part, it feels like the crowd and the enthusiasm and just the feeling is getting a little bit bigger each week. Moving in the right direction. The competition has been scrumptious from the start. 3-0 lead for de Santan here in game 3.
He's really done enough to upset the balance here. Gonzalez starting to struggle a bit more on the forehand attack.
Got a timeout taken by Frank Arias. I want to go back to what I mentioned in the open, and I don't mean to dwell on it, but look, in 25 out of 26 team matches, there have been a sweep. The one that wasn't was Princeton and Florida back in October. Unless Jishan sweeps Mark Duran or Duran sweeps Leong in the 4th singles match, this is going to be the 2nd time ever in 27 team matches that there's not a sweep. What is it about these 2 teams where no one can sweep anyone else? I mean, it's competitive, back and forth we go.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good sign for the league. We've talked about, you know, teams going back and forth in singles and back and forth in doubles, and it really coming down to the golden game as the clutch. And all of the golden games have been, like a vast majority of the golden games have been right to the end. So you're looking at players who have such a similar level that you have these amazingly close matchups. And that's the magic of it. You don't know who's going to win. And I think one of the things that stands out for me is when you look at matchups that have happened already. So, you know, you have teams that are playing every month. When you look at matches that have happened before, sometimes one player's winning, the next month the other player's winning, and then, you know, you're splitting. So, yeah, very close matchups in level.
Nice little drop shot there from Gonzalez. to get on the board here in game 3. It is fun to see the rematches and to see results go different ways and notice the adjustments that players make, both tactically, mentally, what they've worked on from month to month. And with all that said, the matchups that I'm most excited about are the ones we're going to see in Rock Hill when the East faces the West for the first time, and we get a bunch of matchups that we've just been contemplating and thinking about, but we've never seen before. First few days in December.
So Gonzalez gaining some ground back here in the third game. This is what happens. You see some of these less spin or empty chops. Spin variation, something that's really difficult to see when you're watching, even on the live stream. But some of these chopping actions, which look relatively similar from the Santan, some of them are loaded with backspin, some of them have no spin at all. So it's very difficult to be on the attacking side and having to read those different variations in the middle of a rally as well.
These are a couple huge serves for Gonzalez. He needs to slice into the deficit. That'll help. Good stuff from Daniel.
And a bit more noise coming from the Crocs bench now. The speed that DeSantolan moves back into the table and across, really impressive.
Great stuff from Gonzalez. 3 in a row. He's back within 1. Timeout, Revolution.
The timeout call on Princeton Revolution.
Gonzalez putting the pressure back on. That's always a good sign when you're the Crocs player, forcing that timeout, knowing that your opponent's your opponent and your opposition team are starting to feel that pressure of you coming back and to feel threatened by the changes that you're making. Matthew DeSantolan still with 1 point of wiggle room here in the third game, but a lot of momentum coming back to Daniel Gonzalez, finding that forehand timing and forehand power again.
7-6.
The timeout music there was courtesy of Adam Bobro's cell phone into the PA microphone that he was holding. Adam never lacking energy. Never.
Oh, and DeSantolan clipping the net there, but you could see how much action he was putting on that ball, the side spin, to try and make it as difficult as possible.
That had kind of a point of the weekend feel to it, and then just caught the net, took a little helium out of the balloon.
Gonzalez not 100% sure if that had been a clean hit, so finishes the point off anyway. Gonzalez coming back from the timeout has been a little bit more controlled, maybe on the borderline of being tentative. Certainly giving Santan a few more opportunities here.
Oh my! Are you kidding me? Matthew Santan, how did he do that?
Look at the movement and the flip of the racket and reflex there to set up 3 game points here.
Biggest roar from the crowd we've heard yet today.
Rightly so.
Matthew Santan, after dropping game 1 11-4, takes games 2 and 3 over Daniel Gonzalez. An impressive comeback from the chopping Frenchman. And that evens this matchup. We've had 2 of the 4 matches so far go 2-1 to the Crocs. The other 2 have gone 2-1 to the Revs. 6-all with Leong and Duran set to take the table next. Matthew Santan joins us now. Matthew, congratulations, my friend. You lose game 1, 11-4. It felt like you weren't yourself in that opening game. How did you get your mojo going to do what you did from there on?
Yeah, I did the first one, 11-4. I was too passive and I was watching what's happened, and I was not in the game. So directly I tried to stay closer to the table and take more my forehand, my attack, for get more power, energy on the table, and it's worked for this match.
And how important is it for you out there when you're playing against someone who's playing quite strong with their forehand, as well as getting in with the attack? How important are the defensive variations? What kind of things do you have at your disposal to disrupt him more defensively?
Can you repeat the question, please?
So defensively, as well as getting in and attacking more, what kind of different variations are you using defensively to try and slow him down a little bit or force some errors?
Yes, he has huge forehand, so I try to make a lot of variation and try to put less spin, but the most done I can in my defense, so he can't go so strong. When I shot so little too high, he killed my shot, so I try to spin, no spin, change a lot of things and make him some mistake. When he makes some mistake, he has some doubts, and after he goes slowly with the forehand. And that's why in this moment I can take my forehand.
Well done, Matthew. Thanks for your time. We'll see you in the Golden Game.
Thank you.
Matthew Santan earns 2 points for Princeton. We're tied 6-6. Jishan Leong, who we saw in doubles playing with Angela Guan, going against Mark Duran, who took 2 out of 3 in the first match of the weekend for the Crocs against Sasha Hanin. 1-0 lead for Leong as Duran severely overcooks that forehand.
Duran yesterday, so impressive. He has these short and compact but very explosive forehand strokes, great backhand punches, but I think just an incredible amount of different skills at his disposal, and particularly yesterday, some of the points that we saw him getting around the back of the table, chopping and playing two-handed backhands.
Oh!
Extraordinary player, but Jishan has got some moves for him here.
Great stuff from Duran.
And one thing you'll notice is that Duran plays a lot more control on the backhand. Sometimes he'll get him with a backhand punch, but for the most part, control. So I think we're going to see Jishan playing down the line a lot. looking for those opportunities to then get in with the bigger forehands.
Do you look at one of these players as having an edge against the other coming into this matchup?
Yeah, I think for me, if Jishan plays the match tactically well, just knowing how capable he is with that forehand, I think he can lock down Duran enough to have a little edge here in this one. And of course, they did play in week 3 also. Jishan coming out 2-1. Not too close in the games. So Leong certainly capable of winning clear, but Duran also.
Duran won the middle game in that 3-game swing. Duran's win was the widest margin of the 3 games. First point, a good bit here for Mark Duran.
This is both players' opportunities to give their team an advantage going into the golden game. So plenty on the line here in this singles match.
Both matches between Princeton and Florida have been 8-7 going into the golden game. And the team that had the 8-7 lead going into the golden game ended up winning the golden game. It is ironic that Princeton's only golden game win came against Florida, and that's their only golden game loss. Game 1 to Jishan Leong in convincing fashion, 11-4.
The big question for Mark Duran is how to shut down that monstrous forehand of Jishan Leong. This is a question that players have been asking themselves in the US for the last decade. Some have figured it out, others have definitely not.
If you were coaching Mark, what would you tell him?
Honestly, you can take some notes from his teammate Matilda Ekholm, is getting the ball out wide to Jishan's forehand. He's so comfortable on his backhand side, and a lot of his forehand power comes from the step around. So, you know, playing from the backhand side, then getting around the corner to play forehand. So, you know, pinning him on his backhand and then getting the ball out wide to the forehand. But if you keep playing that backhand angle, eventually you're kind of asking for it.
2-0 lead here in game 2. Feels like more of the same.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the other things, and it's a huge challenge, but if you can lock him down after the first forehand, kind of block it back into his body or elbow.
I was just going to say, how do you do that?
Not very easily. Yeah. It's one of those things where the solution is not in how to deal with the shot, it's in how to stop it from happening in the first place. And lobbing, not a strategy that's going to help much. And certainly, I think one of the things that Duran has that could help in his favor is he has quite good speed. And taking time away from Jishan, if you can get the ball into his body, or you can get good placement with good speed, getting him off balance will help. But you can see there, when his feet are planted and he has time to build up into that shot, it's so tough to deal with. And when I first moved to the US, I had to play Jishan almost every tournament that he came to my club. It kind of became a running joke that he would show up and ask me to warm up because he knew that we were going to end up playing each other. And the guy absolutely killed me. So
Did you ever get the better one?
no, I did when I stopped playing the tournament. So
The guy with the headset holds all the power now, G-Shot.
right, yeah, I can say what I want. Unfortunately, his forehand's still amazing, so it's not really so easy for me to pick at any flaws.
Was there a time you came close to beating him?
No. No.
My friends, that's how someone becomes a table tennis commentator. I'm just kidding. You're a national champion.
Not wrong. I mean, you get a lot of insight in what people's strengths are when when you know what they are. And you know, you asked me how difficult it was to deal with his forehand power, and when you've experienced it, you know that it's tough to get back, and the real challenge lies in shutting it down. Duran
caught the side of the table, did not catch the top of the table. Taking a page out of the Santan playbook here without the backspin.
Certainly would have been a nice point for him if they clipped the top edge. And here we go, Duran playing a little bit quicker. The one thing to do with Jishan is find the backhand and keep him on the backhand. Then you have a little bit more of a chance. Duran, his speed is on the forehand. So using the forehand to get those quick shots in. Now we're seeing a little momentum shift here. Duran with 4 game points.
Yeah, Mark's grinded well to get to this stage.
There's that backhand again that we saw in the doubles.
There's just some shots that leave you giggling as to, what, really? Come on now. That did not catch. Leong still alive here in game 2.
It's one area, the backhand side, that Jishan has actually become significantly better in since he came to the US, because he was all forehand player before. And you can see why.
3 straight for Leong. And the timeout card lifted again for Duran to have a chat and take a breath. From 10-6 to 10-9 here in game 2.
Great opportunity here for Mark Duran to pick up this second game. He did well to get himself in quite a good position, but Jishan's fought back. Really comes down to speed. Speed is the factor. If Duran can get in with a quick forehand to the backhand side and then catch Jishan on his backhand and maybe get the ball out quick to the forehand corner. It's all about using speed and just doing your best to either keep Jishan off his forehand or keep him off balance at least.
All right.
10-9.
Duran and Leong. 10-9. Duran with a chance to close it out on his serve. And that will do it. A big rip and a miss hit from Jishan Leong.
I was quite surprised that Jishan took a punt at that one. It was a very awkward ball from Duran. Slow, quite heavy, but across the body of Jishan.
Matt, I can feel your eye roll coming, but that clinches just the second time in 2018 matches that there hasn't been a 3-0 sweep at any point in the singles or doubles in the match. And both times it's been Princeton and Florida. For whatever reason, these two teams bring the best out of each other. I don't know if maybe bring the best out of each other is the wrong way to put it. Create variability against one another. Because we've seen some wild swings. Leong won the first game 11-4 and then lost game 2. You know, Dan Gonzalez won game 1 11-4 and lost game 2. I saw earlier Gorak beat Jinshin Wong 11-7 in game 1 and lost game 2.
Yeah, you know what? I think the commonality is that it's the players with the bigger attacking shots that come out here and tend to make a bigger impression early, and then obviously, like, you don't want your opponent to be blitzing through you, so you start to see tactical changes that shut down those attacks. And it was only late in the second game that Duran managed to figure some things out that helped him get the edge.
So this game obviously is for this singles match. It is for the lead heading into the Golden game. And obviously it also counts as a point at the start of the Golden game. So there's a lot on the line. These next 18 to 20 points or so.
Better plays from Jishan. I think dealing with that quicker opening. So if he can control those quicker loops from Duran and then put him back into a passive mode first, it's a little bit of a safer option for setting up his forehand.
Good slam from Duran there on the short return that popped up. MLTT.com/shop. All the MLTT merch.
For the league and for the teams individually.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but do you have a favorite logo? One that just caught your eye more than the others?
Somebody actually asked me this yesterday, and I said it would be really bad for my short amount of camera time if I just started the commentary wearing like a Carolina Gold Rush shirt or something. Do I have a favorite? It's probably the Crocs. I mean, a crocodile with a table tennis racket. It's
something you don't see that often.
Well, I never see. We had that question yesterday.
Duran somehow staying at this point. Still alive.
Oh, there's no way. Oh! I don't know if that might be a let. That's interesting.
They're calling it Duran's point. Now they're changing the call.
Technically, I don't know how I feel about that. In some ways, Leong kind of was in a position where it could be considered obstructing. Duran really doesn't look happy about that. He's kind of saying, how am I supposed to play a ball when my opponent's standing right in front of me? I don't know if I'd personally be thrilled with that call if I was out there, but it's a tough situation to judge. But Duran's gonna keep on moving forward. It's the kind of professionalism you'd expect from a player of his caliber and experience, is to just let it go and keep going. And he will.
On the defensive again. Leong just keeps swinging away.
Duran, so much variance back from the table. We see him throwing in some chops, but I'll tell you one thing. Chopping against Leong Jishan is not necessarily the best strategy. If I've ever seen Jishan playing at his best, it has been him just thumping through defensive players with his forehand. Duran starting to get vocal out here. As you said, the teams on their last two meetings have been separated by only 1 point going into the Golden game, and the team that has had that 1 point lead has come out on top in the Golden game. I don't know if either player is aware of that out there, but
I doubt they're aware of the past, but they are very aware of the present and how important the stakes of this game are. Duran in disbelief.
yeah, just mishitting that forehand. A great opportunity to get the ball down the line.
Feels like Leong has had the bigger swings, the more impressive shots, and yet your Mark Duran is. One game all, 8-7 in the third.
It's like we said before in the doubles, sometimes the reliable player goes unnoticed. Punch does it for Duran.
8-9.
You can see how committed he is to playing assertively. Gets in with the forehand and keeps going. And he had a chance to get there again, but Jishan just hanging in there. Two big game points here for Jishan Leong. And Duran fades the ball out to the forehand. Follows up with the punch.
One game point saved. Can he save one more and get us to a golden point? Yes, he can. 10-all here in game 3. And the lead heading into the golden game all comes down to this next point.
I think Duran having the ball in hand here could be a pretty big factor.
Jishan Leong,
no way.
insanity. What a winner as Princeton goes ahead 8-7 on the forehand of Jishan Leong.
The precision on that ball. Duran knows there's nothing you can do about that. Just an absolute clean winner.
So that's the third straight team match here in Chicago that's gone 8-7 through the singles and doubles display. And it sets us up for an exciting Golden Game finale. Princeton by 1. Princeton 1-1 in Golden Games against Florida. 0 against everybody else. What will the order be? Matthias Habasson and Frank Arias will decide, along with the commissioner.
No.
Lane right
Princeton
now.
here, Princeton here. Okay, we've got Princeton Revolution is up 8-7. We started with a 1-point lead. Since you're ahead, Florida Crocs, pick the first player. Daniel Gorak is your number 1. Jinshin Wong is your number 1. Your number 2. Jishan Leong is your number 2. Mark Duran, your number 2. Your number 3. Daniel Gonzalez, your 3. Matteo de Santan, and your 4th. Koyo Kanamitsu. Ojo Onaapo, your 4th, making Matilda your 5th, and Angela your 5th. Good luck, coaches.
Well,
Turns out it's one of those matches where we don't get any shifts into the Golden Game. All 4 singles matchups, and the ladies who squared off in doubles will maintain the same matchups in the Golden Game. Order's a little bit different. Jishan and Mark Duran in a big spot in the 2 spot. With Princeton starting with a 1-0 lead, it means that if we do get the ultimate golden point, it'll be Wong versus Gorak at 20 all if we get their 39 points from now. Florida's 6-1 in Golden Games. Princeton is 1-6. Will history repeat itself, or can the Revolution
Crocs to serve.
change the story
0-1.
here in Chicago? Gorak serves first.
Big start for Gorak. Interesting choice of serve receive there for Daniel Gorak.
Oh, Chin Wong with authority.
Just massive forehand flick there. Great start to win 2 out of 3 of those points. Duran looking for some revenge on his opening points here against Jishan Leong. Jishan forehand has really been the big story here in the doubles and in his singles. I'm already carrying on here with the Golden Game.
4-3.
Big sequence for Mark Duran. He takes 3 out of 4.
Jishan still out there going for broke, but Duran has so many options back from the table.
Gonzalez sails it long against the Santan. Game to 21. Not win by 2. Straight to 21.
Just like in the singles, that soft opening setting the scene for the rest of the point. The Santan with a little bit more time there. Some more options to begin the point.
Tried to go short, and he sent too short. Three in a row for Matthew de Santan. Sweeps the 4-point sequence against Dan Gonzalez. Here is Mr. Golden Game, Ojo Onaapo. The Crocs need some spark, but it's Koyo who delivers the opening punch. 2 straight for Koyo, 6 in a row for Princeton, and a 10-4 lead for Revo. Missed the table there, snaps the 7-0 string, but still an impressive run from de Santan and Koyo. And a lot of pressure on Matilda Ekholm's shoulders right now. Now she has been up to the task. She has been splendid in Golden Games so far this season for the Florida Crocs. But a service error to get her 4-point sequence started here. Wong takes another point. We were tied 4-all, Matt. 9 of the last 10 points to Princeton.
They are making some big moves here in this Golden game.
How about Angela Guan? That's good stuff from the chopper.
Tan and Lynn in the audience, checking out this Golden game action ahead of their matchup this evening.
The women stick together, but Hong Lin also is, I think, rooting for her husband's team, the Revolution.
Gorak has some work cut out for him here. The Revolution would double the points. Gorak looking to close that gap as much as he possibly can here.
Oh, Jin Wong has had himself a day, and really a weekend. Dad strength.
Even going 2-2 now here will put Princeton in a great position. Right now, Florida have got to make some serious moves.
Yeah, they're running out of time. Duran looking for answers. None coming into the clear. Two straight for Jishan Leong as Princeton closes in. How about this? Princeton about to be 2-1 in Golden Games against Florida.
I'll tell you right now, they look pretty excited on the bench, and they're not there yet, but they can taste it. Still maintaining that double margin. 18 points to 9.
It'll be Gonzalez and Santan. Santan swept Gonzalez last time. Dan's going to need to return the favor here to give Florida a fighting chance. Oh, that's a tough break for Gonzalez. Santan will take it. Daniel had set that point up exactly how he wanted, and the net cord winner puts Princeton one step closer, 2 points away. Princeton has put together one of its finest Golden Game performances we have ever seen, and Matthew de Santan can close it out right here. Gonzalez lives to fight one more point. Gonzalez can win this point. It'll be Onaapo and Koyo to the table next. But it's over. The Princeton Revolution taste victory again, with Matthew de Santan closing it out. They win the Golden Game 21-11. And they take the match 14-7. It's their second win. And the interesting thing is two of their only two wins have come against the first place Crocs.
Yeah, and again, that trend of leading 8-7 and winning the golden game will continue. An amazing performance by the Princeton Revolution. And this lineup from the beginning looked like it had all the makings for them of what could potentially have been a great result, and they delivered in style, I might add.
Teams that have a lead entering the golden game are now 19-8 overall. That goes to show you how big that last game was that went to the final point between Jishan and Mark. It could have been 8-7 the other way, but Jishan and the Revolution get it done to the delight of their fans and their coach, Matthias Habasan. Congratulations. What were you most proud about from your team's performance today?
I mean, my very first advice in the morning was to win the match, because I said it's so fun to give interviews after. No, of course, we tried to recover from yesterday. We had a tough loss, but I think we just did our work, and it's very important to forget the things that happened and keep going for the next challenge. And yeah, we just started immediately in the morning with professional work, like from the beginning, from standing up. We just came here, practiced, did multi-ball, did everything. So I think that was a good decision, and yeah, we were just a little bit better prepared, I think, yeah, from the playing style and also from the lineups and everything. Yeah.
And how much conversation and planning did you put into the lineup this time? Because looking at the order going into the match, you must have felt pretty confident. And were you happy with how the matchups looked for you?
Yeah, I mean, afterwards it's easy to say it was a good one. Yeah. Of course, there are a lot of discussions because there are two different things. First, of course, the playing styles you have to discuss first, but second, also you have to watch the dynamic. What happened before? How is the shape? How are the guys feeling? And this kind of stuff. But today, I think the setup was really good for us.
Matthias, between the East Coast and the West Coast, there have been 27 team matches. 25 of them have had at least one 3-0 sweep. The only two that haven't have been the last two meetings between the Revolution and the Florida Crocs. Is there something about the way you match up with Florida that creates these close competitive 2-1 matchups in singles and doubles?
No, I think it's just, yeah, I think it's just
a happy coincidence.
Yes, happy coincidence.
He's been bringing it up a lot in the live stream.
No, but I'm just very happy about this. I'm proud for my team. They just do the work. You know, I mean, I'm a table tennis coach, and of course it didn't went well until now for us. But on the other side, it's not just about the performance in the league. I mean, these all individual players too. So I try to help them as much as I can. Also as individual players, some of them are even playing internationally and like this. So we just keep working, keep going every day. Just don't give up.
Keep going, Matthias. Yeah. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you
so much.
Matthias Habasan, like Matt Hetherington, doesn't believe in the genius of the stat, but that's okay. Matthew DeSantalon has put the headset on. Matthew, congrats. That was an exciting match. It was really your performance in the Golden Game that opened things up. It felt like you kind of carried on from what you figured out late in your match against Daniel to get the job done. Was that the story in your mind?
Yes, I know I need to win a lot of different points against him. It was very important, and I tried to change tactic directly when we played the match. So I pushed directly in the forehand. I tried to change something. He made some mistake. Then after he had some pressure and make other mistakes. And I was a little lucky. I make like 2 nets, I think. And so it was for us today. We are so happy because we really need this win.
And being out there and playing modern defense, I mean, for us up here, watching the amount of ground that you have to cover in points going from back off the corner all the way in. What kind of process do you have to go through to physically recover from something like that after these matches?
One kind is my physical working. Yes, I have physical coach. One time by week, I work with him, and we do a lot of things specifically for table tennis. and I try to run one time by week 2 and other things. But yes, it's very important to work on physical for my style of game. Yes.
Great stuff, Matthew. Congratulations on the win. Look forward to seeing you battle Chicago tomorrow night. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
That's Matthew de Santan. He takes 2 out of 3 in singles, delivered a golden sweep in the golden game. Florida still in first place, but that could change if Carolina wins the nightcap here. Chicago also with some work to do to navigate their way out of the cellar, with Princeton earning their second golden game victory. The Revolution bump up into third place. Before we get to Carolina and Chicago, Matt, give me your quick takeaway from Florida and Princeton Part 3.
I mean, honestly, there have been so many situations where you just felt for the Revolution. They put in great combinations. Their players put in so much effort, but they just weren't able to get over the line. So to see them show up here and again take that victory over the top team in the East Division, really impressive. And you know, I said from the beginning, the lineup just looked really good for them in terms of the potential to get over the line this time, and they really delivered.
They blow it open in the golden game. It was 4-4, and then a 9-1 run really created some significant separation. They take the golden game 21-11 and take the match 14-7. That's 3 straight matches here in Chicago that have been 8-7 going into the golden game, with the team with a 1-point lead goes on to take it. We'll see if that story remains the same with Chicago and Carolina. That's coming up about 72 minutes from now. We thank you for spending some of your Saturday with us and hope you'll join us in just over an hour for the Wind and the Gold Rush. But for now, on behalf of Matt Hetherington and our entire crew, I'm Evan Lepler saying so long. Princeton over Florida as the East Division race gets a little tighter here in Chicago.